Hello and welcome to another Heroes of the Storm Quick Tip. Today I wanted to talk about undervalued heroes, in this case, the most popular undervalued hero in the game, which is Raynor. Now, you might be saying, well, if he's the most popular character in the game, how can he be undervalued? And, well, it's very simple. Raynor gets value in every single division at every single skill level, and yet he's not played or banned in every game. And that's where you should be. Now, that's an exaggeration. That's hyperbole. That is not in, it should not be in 100% games. But as far as you're concerned, you, the player, you probably should be playing Raynor a heck of a lot more than you are. Because here's the whole thing. Again, Raynor is one of the only heroes in the game currently that has a positive win rate in every single skill division, with one exception. That is Division C. Because Division C are a bunch of weirdos. And if you want the real answer is Division C is usually the place where mechanical skill starts to catch up with what you'd normally consider good. And so what you see is mages start to do a lot better because they're hitting a lot more of their skill shots, while the positioning really doesn't improve until high Division B teams, Division A sort of things. In other words, people are taking a lot of free damage in Div C, and so mages excel in that environment, whereas Raynors, a lot of them don't quite have the positional awareness to equally trade, at least not as well as mages do, which is why you'll see Kael'thas, the typical auto ban until platinum Storm League ban, is doing the best in Division C because again, Division C is a little weird because of the skill discrepancies involved. So anyway, so why pick Raynor? Well, three main reasons. One, Raynor's very easy to play and very hard to master, because mastering Raynor requires you to be the best you can be at stutter stepping. And let's be real, the vast majority of you are not that good at stutter stepping, myself included. So, the more you practice on this hero and the better you play, every single game, as long as you focus on how you stutter step, the better you'll be on the character and the more you'll see improvement. And that improvement doesn't just apply to Raynor, it applies to all your characters, especially if you're a ranged DPS main. So, that's number one. You have a clear goal and something that will improve you as a player over time that can extend to all sorts of heroes and even other games if you choose to play other MOBAs. Number two, Raynor's Q is ridiculous. So not only is it a good knockback, but if you just take the talents escape me, penetrating rounds and paint them red, I believe it is, on 13 and 16 Qs for Raynor, what you basically have is not only a skill shot that every 9 seconds deals somewhere between 700 and 1,000 damage, but also it heals you for a ton. And by a ton, I mean around 20 to 30% of his health pool, depending on how many heroes you hit. It is really good. It's ridiculous. You should be playing it. And the fact that Giddy Up is even still a thing disgusts me. Because Giddy Up is great. Don't get me wrong, extra movement speed is great, but ever since they nerfed it to 8%, it's really not that impressive compared to, again, reducing your Q, increasing the slow on your Q, and getting a 50% damage bonus and 90% heal on your Q. Essentially, once late game rolls around, your Q is a legitimate skill shot, and you're no longer Jimmy right click. Not only do you have a very useful interrupt for channels like Mosh and so on, but you can just delete people and, again, heal yourself. And between your E and your Q, you have somewhere between 60% sustain, along with armor. So realistically, as long as you're hitting your Qs, it's closer to 70+% sustain of your life bar. And you're a pretty chunky boy on Raynor, so that's a ton of sustain as a DPS. Not only can you use it to stay in fights a lot longer, it also means you're going to win almost every 1-for-1 trade, unless you play against a burst hero that just kills you before you get your buttons off, or if you miss your Qs consistently. And that's another thing you can work on. Q is a very straightforward and easy to practice skill shot. If you're not hitting the majority of your Qs, well, that's something to improve on. And finally, it's hard for Raynor to be a bad pick. He's not super impacted by blinds, not the same way Tychus is, where if you blind him during minigun, he's just a useless character for X number of seconds. Inspire is useful. You can outmaneuver people with Q and Inspire and just moving in general. Again, good movement. And finally, he's a siege, master, basically. Not only does he have good wave clears without hitting abilities, he can clear waves incredibly quickly with abilities and destroy structures incredibly quickly. And that's without taking into account Banshee. I'm just thinking Hyperion, because most people will not get value out of Banshee, but if you do take Banshee on 10, what's going to happen is you're going to get a floating ward and almost double your DPS when you get to Duskwing. But just playing as boring old Jimmy right-click, one of the best things you can do. All right, thanks for coming to my TED Talk, and I hope you have a great day.